I'm on my commute into work. My asthma's acting up today really badly. I'm not sure what the heck is going on. But I wanted to talk a little bit about a question that I got when I was streaming to Twitch by someone who popped onto my Twitch stream. They asked me which was more superior, traditional or digital animation. That has a complicated answer for such a simple question. And the reason why it's complicated is because when people think traditional versus digital, what are they really thinking about? Are they thinking 2D traditional versus 3D digital? Or are they thinking about 2D digital versus 2D traditional? When you think traditional versus digital, you're thinking about the tools. And the animation style isn't always defined by its tools. Regardless, there are other components to an animation that makes it good or bad. That includes story, plot, just in general, and pacing of the plot. That includes character development, character design. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this, and if you want to try to figure out which one's quote-unquote superior, you're going to want to really look at all these different parts. Now, as for quality, again, that it's not so much about the tool as about the people using the tool. The reason why I say that is I went to school with a mixed bag of people. There were people who were very focused on 3D animation. They were very good at it, very good at modeling. They couldn't draw for a lick. And they hated their traditional animation class because they couldn't draw for a lick. And they let that box them in rather than try, because it wasn't about whether or not they could draw. It was whether or not they understood the basic principles of animation. And if you let issues like, oh, I can't draw, dude, can you draw a box? Can you draw a square? Alright, then you can animate. Like, if you can draw a box, if you can draw a square, if you can draw a circle, you can animate. And you use those to start with the basic principles. There are 12 of them. I'm wondering if I can remember them all. I know the first one is squash and stretch. I know, and it's kind of funny because this is something that animators were doing for years before they had the super slow-mo cameras going on. And in regards to squash and stretch, if you look at the super slow-mo cameras, like if you see somebody getting punched, you can see squash and stretch actually happen. It's a give and take as force is applied to something else. And in animation, they exaggerate it enough so that our eyes catch it. So, which one's more superior? I really don't think either one's more superior. Hey, from Japan, hey! It is morning over here on the east coast of the U.S. I'm guessing that it's close to dinner time by you, maybe? Or late at night? I'm not sure. So yeah. I don't think it's... Because when you look at it, the difference between animation styles... 10:15 p.m. The difference between animation styles is about tools. It's about tools. That's all. You have your traditional tools, And even the traditional artwork tools, there's various kinds. In the digital world, you have two branches of digital. You have 3D and 2D animation. And 2D isn't dead. It's just that you have companies that aren't willing to put forth the time and effort in order to pay for it. And 3D animation, they have a lot of bells and whistles that they have to take care of. I mean, with 2D animation and 3D animation, you have different job positions that are significantly different because they're different. It's a different way of doing animation, just entirely. So, like, unless you're doing puppet animation from, like in Flash or Animate CC, you don't need rigging. Yes, I love old Japanese animations. The classic ones, they're really good. I think Nausicaa, Warriors of the Wind, it was one of my favorite growing up. And I remember seeing Kimba the White Lion. I remember seeing that. So, which one's superior? It's not about superiority, it's about skill. It's about skill. Because a 3D animator can be great at rigging, they can be amazing at modeling. But if they don't know how joints work, if they don't know how to animate weight, if they don't know how to show the morphing, the stretching, the volume, the movement, all the subtle little things that go with understanding how animation works, then it's going to look stiff and not real. This is true too to a beginning animator that's drawing traditionally, that is trying to move a character across a page. It's just true. That character's going to look stiff. One thing I see a lot of people getting caught up on is they use these tools as a crutch. 3D animators could learn, yes, true skills. I love traditional drawing. I love traditional drawing too. That's why I started doing actual traditional animation, like traditional animation. It's where I started in college, and it feels so good to flip those pages. Oh, I love Ghibli. And I love the fact that he is, I'll call him a hero of traditional animation, because there was an interview that he was caught on film or recorded or something, where he was talking to his 3D team, because he does use 3D animation in some instances to help out. But his 3D team was showing him something that horrified him. And he's like, I don't want to put any more money into doing this. Sorry. And those young and upcoming 3D animators couldn't understand why. And it wasn't about the tool. It's not about the tool, and it's not about the shortcuts, and it's not about... It's about putting the time and effort to really, really learn those skills. The thing that I see, as I was trying to say, the thing that I see is you have a lot of people asking, well, what should I use? Should I use a tablet? Should I use, Premiere? Should I use Flash? Should I get Toon Boom, Open Tunes? What program is best for animating? Things like that. And it's not about that. It's not about the tools you use. Because the tools, the workflows, they improve your speed and your ability to... Gotta shift lanes here. Improve your speed and ability to do the work. They're there to make it easier for the animator to do your work. Aaron Blaze, for example, he does a lot of his animation and sketching and whatnot, especially in his live streams, on a Cintiq. But he's doing it by hand. He's still drawing it out. But the tool that he uses is a lot cleaner. It's a lot faster. Doesn't kill as many trees. That's one of the downsides of traditional animation. That's a lot of dead trees. Unless we can come up with some really good, like, I don't know, papyrus or bamboo paper that can be used for animation, which would be an interesting experiment. But that's a lot of dead plant matter. Has to never end. Hand drawings are in the brain, not the apps. That's right. It's in here. So, which is superior? I don't think that that's even a question to ask then. Because you're comparing tools. I don't know. The wrench from one company is a wrench from another company. It's just, it's whatever you're comfortable with. There's a lot of downsides these days to doing traditional animation on paper. There is. The tools out there, in order to import them to either VHS or to digital, they're limited. They're very much limited. When I was working to scan in my initial bouncing ball loop practice piece that I was doing, since I don't have an animation camera set up where I can just click, click, click each individual frame, I had to, yes, actually I have been trying to do that. If you check my feed, I don't have a thumbnail on it yet. I have to fix that. But my 4-hour live stream, I actually sat down yesterday and in the description did an index of the important parts of the live stream, because I streamed for 4 hours. And towards the end of that is, you can see me doing some work on some animation, including the bouncing ball. But what I had to do is I had to sit there with my bouncing ball and I had to scan each of those frames by hand, and so that's time that gets eaten up, and that means that it's slow. With the digital 2D animation tools, that speeds that up so fast. Does people enjoy it? Did people enjoy the stream, or do people still enjoy doing traditional animation? Not sure about the question. Oh my, hold on. Hold on. I don't know if you can see that out my back window, but there's a small accident right there. My goodness. People seem to enjoy the stream. I'm still a small-time streamer. So when I do stream, I get like 1 or 2 people in my chat room. But they seem to be interested in what I'm doing. That's where this question came up. So, someone in the stream specifically asked what's superior, traditional or digital animation. And I started rambling because I was distracted by drawing, because that happens. But I figured I'd jump on this topic while I'm commuting to work, because why not? Yeah. That's why I'm not exactly looking at my phone the entire time and looking around, because I'm trying to pay attention. But yeah, it does seem that people did enjoy the stream. They were engaged. They were interested. But back on topic again. I like doing classic traditional animation on paper. That's what I started with in school. When I started with digital 2D animation, I learned on an old PC-DOS program. One of the old Microsoft operating systems back in the day. Woo. Like my first computer was a 486. That's right, do what you love. That's right, do what you love. And when I first started, we learned to animate. We had in the rooms the animation discs. Man, they're expensive. One of these days, I'm going to get an animation desk. It's got a big hole in the center of it, and you put the animation disc in it, and it's got a peg bar at top and a peg bar at bottom, and you can spin it. And you do this so you can actually shift the drawing, so you can shift the drawing upside down. And just for drawing, an animation disc is amazing because you can spin it around. But I'm not made of money, and those things are like thousands of dollars, so. Oh, man. So what I did in my live stream, I was showing, I guess you could call it a poor man's animation setup, traditional animation setup. Mage Burger, who's in Britain, and probably working right now, I would hazard. He was doing on paper traditional animation, and he had made a little animation stand out of cardboard and like a little clipboard clip. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I don't have to spend a bunch of money on actual animation paper and not have enough. I can just use copy paper. So I took a clipboard. I found on Amazon a pretty inexpensive LED light tablet. It's very thin. It's like really thin. And if you check out my other live stream towards the end, you can see it. I actually, because of the button, I hit the button and it turns it on and off. So I got some masking tape and I made a little button cover so I could cover the button. It's really ugly looking, but it works. I might make it pretty later. Excuse me. Are you gonna come over in this lane or what? Come over. Oh, okay, you turned your turn signal off. Moron. Whatever. Anyway. Why'd you have your turn signal on when you get off at that? Never mind. Let it go. Let it go. So this LED tablet has like 4 settings, and it works really good as a light table for an animation, like that would be on an animation disc. It's not as mobile, I can't spin it as easy, but for a poor man's traditional setup, it works really well. You use copy paper. You just have to make sure you make registration marks. The registration marks are very important because otherwise your drawings will like jitter around the place and the animation's not so smooth. And it takes more time to clean it up and fix it. But as long as you remember to put registration marks in there so that your drawings are lined up. That's what the peg punches at the bottom of the paper were for, is to keep the paper still in the same spot as the paper after that. So each one that you would draw would be in the correct position when you filmed it. So when you're doing the poor man's method, you have to make sure you have a registration mark somewhere, or two, preferably, so that your page lines up each time. I would love to teach drawing and art. That would be amazing. I had a chance when I was going to conventions. I started to do basic art 101 panels. And I didn't think, because I was unknown. I'm still technically unknown. I'm not popular, I'm not a huge name. And I figured because I wasn't a huge name that the panels that I would have, since they overlaid other panels by more well-known people, that I wouldn't get that kind of draw. So it was an experiment to see if my stuff or what I had to offer was something other people wanted to see. And shockingly, the first time I did a panel, there was standing room only. When I got done with the panel, it was the first time I ever did any kind of speaking or teaching gig, so I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing, to be honest. I had people coming up to me asking for more information, taking my business cards, asking if they could, you know, friend me on the various galleries like Deviant Art and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I asked them what they thought about the class, and they were amazed, enthralled, they loved the information. So I tried again next year with 2 panels. I did, the first one was just on hands and feet, and the next one was on hands and feet, which I did again and refined it. And I also did one on basic character design 101. We're talking basics. We're talking bottom level basics. And both of those panels were also standing room only. So, apparently people like hearing me talk. I don't know. Should make channel arts for YouTubers. Channel arts, like doing channel art for other YouTubers? Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm hoping that some of my tutorials, I actually commissioned an artist to do an anthro character for me, because as much as, you know, face-to-face is really good, and seeing people is really good, I'm actually a little shy. So I commissioned someone to do character with different expressions so I could put it on the video. Because that's a nifty thing. It's like a little mascot, which is great. Eventually I'll animate my own. Uh-oh. YouTube's telling me I have a very bad connection. Dang. Video is probably going to get crappy. You know, it's the same place I had before that had crappy connection. I wonder if it's because of the warehouses and the schools. They tend to have some kind of blocking signal. That's a high school right there. It's so weird. So yeah, digital versus traditional. Yeah. It's all about the skills. Because you can apply those skills and learn other skills. You can apply everything you learn in traditional with the 12 basics principles and apply them to 3D and 3D animation. The trick with 3D animation is you have to learn an additional tool. It's like doing sculpture and then having to learn how to sculpt with a welder. Yeah, that would be really awesome, collabing with other channels. I do want to do that at some point. That's one of the reasons, too, why I'm doing these practices. I did a Google search for top 50, top 60 best animation exercises, and I got a lot of really good information. So, starting with your basic bouncing ball loop, then you do a bouncing ball going across the screen, then you do different kinds of bouncing balls. You can do like a ball that's like a super ball that bounces once and shoots off. Oh man, I would love to do so. I would love to make a caricature of Brian G. He's a character in and of himself. I love it. That would be awesome. I can kind of start seeing it inside my head right now. Oh, what are you trying to do? Standard coffee right up my tailpipe. Yes. It's a great way to have coffee. Gosh. People know how to drive, I swear. Alright, well, I'm getting into some funky traffic where people just don't know how to drive. So I may have to end this soon. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. I wish there was a way I could see the participants on this. No. It's not telling me. Oh, lovely kid Japan. Oh, there you are. Yes. So thank you for stopping by, lovely kid. You're lovely. And yeah, I guess for you, art, it's what's for dinner. Yeah, I gotta log off here so I can focus on driving because traffic's getting funky. Thank you. And I appreciate it. Yes, I'm glad you enjoyed. Have a good night. From the next day. Because I'm in your future. Take care. Thank you.